Here is my video and guide of one of Kyoto's most unique and underrated attractions. This is Arashiyama Monkey Park Iwatayama. Located in Kyoto's northwest and honestly stunningly beautiful neighborhood of Arashiyama, you can find Iwatayama Monkey Park. Now to get to Arashiyama is pretty easy for most places in Kyoto. You just want to take this tram called Baranden, which takes you right to Arashiyama Station. Once you reach Arashiyama Station, you want to go a little bit south, a short walk where you will eventually come across the Togetsu-kyo Bridge, which is a beautiful wooden bridge that takes you across the Katsura River. Once you cross the Katsura River, the entrance to Iwatayama Monkey Park will be pretty much immediately on your right. I told you. All right, we just went over the Togetsu-kyo Bridge, and now, maybe you can tell the next place we're going? To enter the park, it only costs 550 yen, which is like nothing. That's about $4 for honestly an unforgettable and really cool, unique experience. Definitely worth it. To head to the actual park, you will go up a little bit of some stairs and come across a really cool shrine. Maybe it's dedicated to the god of monkeys. I don't know, but I'd like to think so when you're entering a really cool monkey-oriented place. It's a 20-minute walk uphill, and then we're gonna show you some of our friends that aren't so different from us. Here is the disclaimer. The park itself is on top of Mount Arashiyama, where you have to hike about 20 to 30 minutes, relatively easy, depending on your fitness level, to get to the actual park itself. However, I really enjoyed the hike, and I think this is adding to the wonderful, unique experience of visiting the park, because the hike takes you through a quiet, sort of green and mossy, really beautiful forest where you can breathe in the fresh air and sort of feel like you're going to a different land within Kyoto itself. Also, along the hike up the mountain, you will see a few different monkey quizzes where you can test your knowledge on Japanese macaques, or maybe learn a thing or two, which is a really cool way to get in the mode for monkeys. Monkey mode. Yeah, let's call it that. Once you finish the winding path up Mount Arashiyama, you will reach the playground. Notice how I didn't specify that this is a playground for monkeys or humans, because I'm assuming both use it. In fact, I definitely know both use it. Oh, there's a bunch of them in the ceiling. They're so furry. Cuties. So if you're not a child or you're not a monkey, you can continue on further up to the actual park itself, but hey, that slide does look pretty tempting though. If you're an adult and you want to hop on, no worries, no judgment here. Speeding themselves down. So once you continue past the playground area, you will officially reach the peak of Mount Arashiyama. You did it. Now it's time to enjoy some monkeys. The peak itself is a bit of an observation area where you're actually 160 meters above the sea, which is about 500 feet or so. It's worth coming up to the park for the views alone, because you will get amazing sweeping views of the surrounding mountains, Arashiyama town itself, and you can even see a lot of Kyoto nearby, including the Kyoto Tower and maybe some other noticeable sites and attractions you might want to visit. Now that you are at the main hub of the park, you are at the area with the highest concentration of Japanese macaques at the park, or macaques. Let me know in the comments. Don't want to say macaque, because just sounds a little strange, that's all I'm saying. Anyway, here are some rules that you definitely should follow. Number 1, do not stare into the monkey's eyes. At least don't hold any significant eye contact. The reason is, monkeys might take this as a form of confrontation. Or, as this picture shows, maybe they think you want to challenge them to a boxing match, which maybe you're up for it, but I wouldn't recommend doing it. Number 2, do not touch the monkeys. They might look soft and fuzzy and really cute and cuddly, but the monkeys want their space. They don't want to be touched unwarranted, and if done so, they might not act so kindly towards you. In fact, I recommend keeping at least 2 meters or 6 feet distance from the monkeys whenever possible. Obviously, these are semi-wild monkeys, so they'll come up to you if they want to. And rule number 3, do not feed the monkeys outside of the feeding area, which we'll talk about more later. You can have a cool chance to feed the monkeys. The reason being is you might start to condition the monkeys to do some sort of bad, naughty monkey behavior. Because if you start feeding the monkeys wherever and whenever they please, they might become entitled to the food. If they think you have some food, they might harass you in trying to get it. They're pretty smart, and this will encourage bad monkey behavior in the future. If you don't believe me, just look at the deer in Nara and how used to they are to getting food, and they will definitely let you know if they're hungry. So based on the totality of all of my monkey experiences, which may or may not be more than the average human being, I think the Japanese macaques at Iwatayama Monkey Park are extremely well behaved. They're clearly used to and conditioned to be around people, but not so comfortable that they want to jump all over you and harass you and take your stuff and see you as, someone that they can just kind of walk all over. For context, I visited Malaysia and the monkeys there were a little bit naughty. They would steal people's food and water bottles. One monkey bit into a water bottle and it started spraying all over some lady. It was really funny, actually. I really did like those monkeys. Even worse than these monkeys, when I visited Bali, Indonesia, the monkeys here would steal people's shiny stuff like iPhones, cameras, glasses, and would start ripping it to bits and chewing on it until a staff member would have to give it food in sort of a little black market trade to get back the tourist's valuable possession. So that's what happens when you feed monkeys whenever they want. Besides just being able to see and be with these macaques in their natural habitat and environment, Iwatayama Monkey Park has a really cool feature that exists in their visitor room, aka their feeding room. Now, the feeding room or visitor room is sort of like the opposite of a zoo. It's like the reverse concept. Rather than the animals being in a cage where they feel like they can't escape from your attention and all that, the visitors are in a cage. The building is surrounded by sort of this wired fence area where the monkeys are free to interact with you as they choose to. In this building, you can purchase a bag of snacks for a really cheap price, about 100 yen, which unfortunately I didn't have at the time. I ran out of money doing many other cool things in Japan. And with this food, you can feed the monkeys that are climbing and jumping and just going crazy around the building at your own pleasure, or as you choose. You just take some snacks, feed it to them through the wire. The monkeys will grab it if they want. If not, they'll leave you alone. It's a really cool and intimate experience where you feel like you are engaging with these beautiful, wonderful, fascinating animals, not at their own expense, as they choose. So it's really cool, rewarding. If you are sort of for animal ethics and are anti-zoo, such as myself, I'm a vegan traveler, everybody, so this was very important for me before doing. I have to say this place is 100% ethical towards the monkeys. To my knowledge, unless they do some really terrible things to monkeys behind the scenes, which I do not have any indication that that is the case. They're just there to take care of the monkeys, make them happy, and hey, they seem to really like eating the food, so give them the food, guys. Not just the baby ones, although they are really cute. So at the top of Mount Arashiyama in Iwatayama Monkey Park, I probably spent the better part of an hour just soaking up all of the great views of the areas below, trying to spot all the monkeys I possibly could, and just trying to watch them as they played, they ran, they jumped. It's so fun to watch how they're sort of human-like, but also like little interested babies and toddlers. It's so cool to watch. He's so cute. He's like, what's his bike? How do I use it?
Aww, that is so cute.
There's actually a total of about 120 Japanese macaques at the park, which is actually a pretty incredible number when you think about it. It's not that big of an area at the park itself. I'm sure they're free to run around and interact as they choose, but that's a lot of monkeys to see in one little area. They were so cute, fuzzy, and they have those iconic red faces, which are just so bizarre but fascinating to see. It makes me really want to go to the Jigokudani Monkey Hot Springs in Japan another time to get a really other cool, interesting, unique monkey viewing experience while being in Japan. So once you've spent enough time at Iwatayama Monkey Park, you can just head right back down Mount Arashiyama and explore the rest of Arashiyama. Now keep in mind that this park is open from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. for entry, but you can also stay at the park until 4:30, then head back down the mountain. But surely you'll want to do other stuff while being in Arashiyama. There's so many other attractions, including the Arashiyama Bamboo Grove, you have Tenryu-ji Temple, you have all the street food you can eat, you can drink some locally made matcha, and there's even a hidden hot spring that I'll talk about all in another video coming up very soon. Subscribe to check out more of my Japan content, everybody, and yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.